Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss about clauses, and this video is in continuation with the previous video where we have discussed about the phrases and clauses. Today we are going to discuss more about clauses. So what is a clause? Clause is a group of words which have their own subject, predicate and finite verb, and may or may not be independently meaningful. So this is very important point, dear students, that it may or may not be independently meaningful, right? So on this base we have made some classification of clauses further, that is of two types of clauses. These classifications depend on that it may or may not be independently meaningful. So on that base the clauses has been classified into two types, that is, first is principal clause. Another name for principal clause is independent clause. Second is dependent clause. Another name for dependent clause is subordinate clause. We have two kinds of clauses, that is principal clause, second is dependent clause, right? So let's discuss about the principal clause. So principal clause. Principal clause is a group of words consists of subject, predicate and finite verb and can make a complete sense by themselves, right? So how does it differ from a sentence? Now the question arises, right? Exactly, it doesn't differ from sentence. It is as good as a sentence. That you have to keep in mind, that principal clause is as good as a sentence. Now, very important point you have to keep in mind, principal clause cannot be used as a noun, adverb or adjective clauses simply because they are complete sentence by themselves. So I've told you that principal clause is as good as a sentence. It has its complete meaning. It does not depend on other sentence for its complete meaning. That is called principal clause, or another name for principal clause is independent clause. Let's take an example. Very first sentence, it is dark. It is subject and predicate, it's a complete sentence, so it is a principal clause. Now, on a sentence, I want to come, but I have some work to do. So you can see I want to come, it's a complete sentence, it makes complete sense. Whereas another sentence, I have some work to do, it is also a complete sentence, right? So it does not depend on other sentence for its complete meaning. This is called principal clause, right? Now let's come to a dependent clause. So what do you mean by dependent clause? As the name suggests, students, dependent clause need an independent clause to complete its meaning. So here, dependent clause, as the name suggests, it depends on principal clause for its complete meaning, right? Again, a dependent clause consists of a subject and predicate and a finite verb, but it is not meaningful all by itself. So you may not forget this, that principal clause as well as the subordinate clause both has the subject, verb and predicate, but principal clause is a independent clause. It does not depend on other clause for its complete meaning, whereas the subordinate clause depend on the principal clause for its complete meaning, right? Now, very important point, DC, the word used for dependent clause again, subordinate clause, can be used as a noun, adverb or adjective clause. I have told you principal clause cannot be used as a noun, adverb or adjective clause because it is independent, right? But subordinate clause, it can be used as a noun, adjective or adverb. So let's take the example. She answered the phone when it rang. She answered the phone, it's a principal clause. When it rang, it is a subordinate clause. SC is used for subordinate clause. What do you mean by subordinate? Because it depends for its complete meaning on principal clause. It is subject, verb, predicate, but for its complete meaning, it depends on principal clause. That is why it is a subordinate clause. So let's discuss more about the subordinate clause. Let's take noun clause. A dependent clause function like a noun in the sentence is called noun clause. So noun clause does the work of a noun in a sentence, right? Different kind of noun clauses are introduced either by that or the question words what, where, why, when, who, how. As you know, since the noun clause does the work of a noun in a complex sentence, it can be used as a subject of a verb, the object of a verb, the object to a preposition, the complement of a verb. So let's take the example. Very first example is there. Attend to what I say. Right? What I say is a noun clause here, and it is a object to the preposition to. When you will question the verb, or when you question the principal clause whatever answer you will get, that will be noun clause. Here again you can see. Second example, where she went is not known to me. When you will question the verb what is not known to me? Where she went. So it is noun clause. Now, I think that you will like it. So when you will question the verb think, what do you think? We'll get the answer that you will like it. Is again a noun clause. One more example, students. Everybody wants that you should contest in the election. So if we'll ask the questions of the verb wants, what? We'll get the answer that you will contest in the election. This is noun clause. So I think you must have been clear. Here in the first sentence, noun clause does the work of object to preposition. Here it acts as a subject to the verb. Here it acts as a object to the verb think, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind, that a noun clause does the work of a subject to the verb, an object of a verb, and an object of preposition, right? Let's come to the next point, that is adjective clause. So what is the adjective clause now? The adjective clause qualifies a noun or pronoun in the sentence, right? So is a dependent clause. Again, you know that I've told you noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause. These three are dependent clause, right? Is a dependent clause that act as an adjective, hence qualifies a noun or pronoun in a sentence. Let's take the example, very first one. The hat which was made of jute. So here you can see adjective clause which was made of jute qualifies the noun hat, right? Now in second sentence, as you can see, I used the notebook that had a yellow colored cover. So here again, that had a yellow colored cover is again a adjective clause, qualifies the noun notebook, right? Let's come to the next one. This is the man who won the car race. So this is the man who won the car race. So who won the car race is the adjective clause, that is underlined, qualifies the noun man. Now students, you have to keep in mind that adjective clause can be may be introduced by the relative pronoun or adverbs. The relative pronoun that may be used in this way, that whom, whose, which, that. You have to keep in mind who, whom and whose are used to refer the person, whereas which refer to things and animals, and that refer to things and animal, and sometimes to person as well. These things you have to keep in mind to identify the adjective clause, right? Now let's come to the adverb clause. So what is the adverb clause, sorry. So adverb clause is again in a complex sentence, it's a subordinate clause which modifies a verb, an adjective or an adverb in the principal clause. The kinds of adverb clause may be related to time, place, cause, purpose, result, condition and manner, that you have to keep in mind. So you can have a look. A dependent clause that does the work of an adverb, modifies a verb, an adjective or another adverb in a sentence is called adverb clause. Let's take the example, students. Very first example. I found the watch where I had left it. So you can see where I had left it is an adverb clause that defines the verb found, right? It qualifies the verb found. Next example. I shall be late as I have a meeting. As I have a meeting is a adverb clause, dear students. Again, you may sit wherever you like. So wherever you like is a adverb clause because it qualifies the verb sit. So you have to keep in mind that noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause, these three clauses are dependent or subordinate clauses. And how does it act? We have discussed in detail. I hope you must have understood, dear students. If you have any doubts, please keep noting it. We will resolve it later on. And for further exercise of this topic, I will send you some worksheet and you have to solve it. Thank you and have a nice day.